Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again with yet another legendary creature from Assassin's Creed that I'm trying to turn into a commander deck, and today it's Cassandra, Eagle Bearer. 1 red and white for a 2/2 human assassin warrior. Has haste. And when Cassandra enters the battlefield, we get to go and find our graveyard hand or library for the Spear of Leonidas and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. And then, whenever a creature you control with a legendary equipment attached to it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Now, there are a few versions of this. Obviously, it's a red-white equipment commander, but I decided to challenge myself and I set myself a goal and I succeeded. So basically, every single bit of equipment in the deck is legendary. Every creature is legendary because I thought it was a bit more thematic. Everything else is some of the usual things, but I thought a bit more of a challenge instead of having your usual standard equipment deck that has pure steel, paladin in it, and all the rest of the things that would go alongside the equipment decks as a rule. So this is a little bit of a strange take on a red-white equipment deck, so I hope you enjoy it. Hit the subscribe button if you can down below. Love it if I could get to 500 by the end of the year. Still my target. We're 44 people short, so if you're new here, please think about subscribing and help me out. But for now, here's today's deck. Okay, not overly expensive on MTGO compared to yesterday's one. If you watched the one on Leonardo yesterday, you know the card I'm talking about. So 630 quid, well, dollars I should say, so about what, £580 because British. Magic Online 52 tickets, so not too sad. So start at the beginning. 23 creatures in the deck, and they are all legendary ones. So Jordine is here, the first of Gold Warden is here. Attacks, it gets +X/+X when end of turn, where X is the number of equipped creatures you control. And then if Jor-Kadin's power is 4, great, we get a card draw. It's actually fairly easy to do with this deck. Kemba, Car Enduring, is also here. When it's for another cat enters the battlefield up the dual control, get to attach an equipment to it. Equipped creatures you control get +1/+1, and when you've got some mana spare, you can create a cat creature token. So, okay. Noel, the Forge Master, whenever another non-token creature you control dies, if it was equipped or enchanted, you get to bounce it back to your hand. Creature tokens that are enchanted or equipped get +1/+1. Not really relevant unless you've made a load of cats off Kemba, but getting everything back in your hand when it dies because the equipped is good. Mary pops over from the Lord of the Rings world to do this as well. Haste has first strike as long as it's equipped, and whenever you attack with Mary and another legendary creature, you get a card draw. Raver, Master Smith, whenever a creature you control that's equipped attacks, that creature gains double strike. One of the cards you see in every equipment deck is next. It's Saram. You have to have it here really, just to do the more card draw. Akiri, Fearless Voyager. You can unattach the equipment from a creature you control, tap it, and it becomes indestructible. But whenever you attack a player with one or more equipped creatures, you draw a card. So there's lots of card draw on this deck. It's pretty good from that point of view. Ardeen, Intrepid Archaeologist. Just move all your equipments around at the beginning of combat on your turn. Dathi, Caspian Paragon, gives us a way of reducing the cost of our equipment we're casting. Kellen, the Fey-Blooded, also makes an appearance because he goes and searches out some of the equipment we need, and then if he becomes equipped, other creatures you control get +1/+1 for each equipment attached to Kellen the Fey-Blooded. I'm ignoring the aura text, by the way, it's irrelevant in this deck, just so we're clear. Kemba, the Car Region, also comes in. At the beginning of your upkeep, get a 2/2 cat creature token for each equipment attached to Kemba. So it gives you another few blockers. Rook, Hex Gold, Nabba. Trample and Haste, and whenever another equipped creature you control other than Rook attacks or dies, you may attach all equipment from that. You may attach all equipment attached to that creature to Rook. Yeah, can become really big in this deck very quickly, this card. I've had quite a bit of success with Rook in the background while I've been playtesting this. Togo is the weaponsmith. Obviously landfall gives you a equipment called the Rock, and you can sacrifice it to deal 2 damage. It's the only non-legendary equipment that you get in the deck comes off the Rock tokens. Valakut, Keeper of Flames, we want to attach equipment to him so we get all those nice elemental tokens attacking alongside him. Astor, Bearer of Blades, we look at the top 7, we go and find an equipment or a vehicle, well, equipment in this case, and put that into our hand, and then put everything else on the bottom of our library in a random order, and then all our equipment only costs 1 to equip. Cope with that. Balance here as well. She had to make an appearance in this deck. white and 1 to attach all the equipment and control all equipment we control to her. Bruno Battlehammer pops over from the Forgotten Realms as well. Each creature you control gets +2/+0 for each equipment attached to it, and then you pay 0 for one once a turn to equip something. Halvir, God of Battle, also makes an appearance today. Creatures that are equipped have double strike, and then at the beginning of each combat you may attach target equipment attached to a creature you control to another creature you control, or you can turn it into the Sword of the Realms if you want another way of getting creatures back in your hand that are about to die. Icing Death also pops over from the Forgotten Realms just to give us the wonderful equipment that it gives us when it dies. Icing Death, yeah, if you know the Dritz stories, you know all about Icing Death. Torlaf, God of Fury, gives us either his hammer to make people go bang, let's hope it. Quick creature has 1 and red, tap, unattach the hammer. It deals 3 damage to any target. You return it to its hand, so it's a bit like Mojir. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 as long as it's legendary. Pretty good from that point of view. Bayek's Seawin also pops in from Assassin's Creed. Doesn't have anything, but as long as it's your turn, other historic creatures you control have double strike. Yeah, everything we've talked about so far has been historic creature. Oh, that's very good with the equipment. We like that plan. Danitha Benalia's Hope also makes an appearance. When it enters the battlefield, you may put an equipment card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield attached to Danitha. Yep, and then obviously we had to have Nahiri in here. Forged in Fury, affinity for equipment. Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. You may cast equipment spells without paying their mana costs. Thank you. We have all 3 versions of Nahiri Planeswalkers in as well, so the Heir to Ancients, so we get the core warriors, the Unforgiving, so we can draw and discard and draw or exile target creature equipment card with mana value less than the loyalty from your graveyard and get a token copy if we've got another way of getting it back. And then the Lithomancer, the original thing that kicked off the Nahiri loving to a certain extent, +2, get a core soldier and you put an equipment attached to it. Okay. Not very many spells. Magnetic Theft gives us another way of attaching equipment to a creature. Steel Shaper's Gifts lets us go and search out some equipment if there's a specific piece we need. Jessica's Will gives us a way to get mana and cards. Akroma's Will gives us a way to punch through and win the game with all our hopefully supercharged legendary creatures. And Unfinished Business lets us bring back one of our creatures and a bit of equipment from our graveyard when they've been killed off. Here we go, the bit everybody's been waiting for. Hopefully you know most of these bits of equipment, but we'll start at the beginning. So we have some Rampart Tantalite, Talisman, Elixir of Immortality to stuff everything back in, Sol Ring, Arcane Signet, Boris Signet, and that's as far as I went down the ramp side of things, but everything else is equipment now. So, Luxor Gyada's Gift, +1/+1 for each counter on it. Equipped creature isn't a planeswalker as long as it is. Not the best bit of equipment in the world, to be perfectly honest, but it does give us a way of equipping it to our planeswalkers, so I had to have it in. Shadow Spear, Trample, Lifelink, turns off indestructible and hexproof if we need it to. Black Blade Reforged, +1/+1 for each land we control, and then it's cheaper to equip it to legendary creatures than anything else. Oh dear, it's picked up a random incursion. Glamdrig, equipped creature has first strike and gets +1/+0 for each instant sorcery card in your graveyard. And whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may cast an instant sorcery from your hand with mana value less than or equal to the damage without paying its mana cost. Not many instances of sorceries, we have 5 in the whole deck, as you saw up above, but the first strike could be useful, and it is a legendary piece of equipment. Gondor's Banner, we will probably name red with this, I would imagine, most of the time, because most of the creatures are red, white, or red on their own. So there's only a few that are just mono white. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, maybe I miscounted, but maybe it's just a case of picking the one you've got most of in play. I'm allowed to make a mistake. I'm human after all. Anyway, moving on. Sting, the Glinted Dagger, is also here. +1/+1 has haste. At the beginning of combat, untap equipped creature. Equipped creature has first strike as long as it's blocking or blocked by a goblin or orc. Fine. +1/+1 haste. Okay, cope with that. Sword of the Animus goes and gets his basic lands. Oh, there's Talisman Conviction I mentioned. Arundel, Flame of the West, +3/+1. Whenever a creature attacks, create 2 tap 1/1 white flying spirit creature tokens. If its creature is legendary, they're attacking. All our creatures are legendary, unless it's on a cat or random core. Cadus, Staff of Hermes. As long as you have 30 or more life. This is Commander, we start with 40. Yes, we will have 30 or more life most of the time. Equipped creature gets +5/+5 and has indestructible, and prevent all damage will be dealt to this creature. Yeah, okay then. Crown of Gondor gets a +1/+1 for each creature we control, and whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, if there is no monarch, you become the monarch. Costs 1 to activate to equip if you're the monarch. The Mithril Coat makes a target, attach it to a legendary creature. That creature has indestructible. The Reaver Cleaver gives us whole loads of treasures to help us keep going. The Spear of Leonis we had to have here because of Cassandra. So whenever equipped creature attacks, choose 1. Double strike, get a legendary 3/2 horse, or discard 2 cards and draw 2 cards. Fine. Hammer of Nazan enters the battlefield, or another equipment enters the battlefield you control. You may attach that equipment to target creature you control. So 3 equipping. Equipped creature has +2/+0 and has indestructible. Helm of the Host, let's copy up all our creatures and go for it. Marginal, sorry, I can never say Thor's Hammer. We all know it's Thor's Hammer, go with that. Attach it to target legendary you control, and whenever equipped creature attacks, tap target creature defending player controls, put a stun counter on it. Then Marginal deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of tapped creatures that opponent controls. Ember Cleaver, you would not expect me to have a red-white equipment deck without it in, I'm hoping, but yep, we're here. And then Cauldron Complete, I had to risk it, just the living weapon side of it, but making something first strike, trample, indestructible, haste, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a creature, exile that creature. Yeah, no one's blocking this once you put this on a creature, believe me. We have a few enchantments. Quest for the Holy Relic, so we can go and find our wonderful, wonderful equipment when we need to. Cigar de Zades here, so we can cast them so they had flash, and then equipment automatically attaches. Fighter class, go and find an equipment, then get it up to level 2 and level 3 as quickly as possible, because whenever a creature you control attacks, up to 1 target creature blocks it. This combat of Able really does make things very interesting, especially if you've got something like Cauldron Complete in play. The level 2 to cut the cost of the equipped abilities is really good as well. Guild Artisan, whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that, you get some treasures. That's the only other non-really equipment-based enchantment here, but I just want a way of ramping. Rune of Speed and Rune of Sustenance are really nice to cast on to the equipments themselves, and that's why they are here. Get to draw a card when we cast them, and then put them permanently on one of the pieces of equipment really makes life a lot better, especially if you give them haste and lifelink, so yay. And Forging the Tyrite Sword, couple of treasures, then we go and find our Halvar, or we've already got Halvar in our hand, we go and find an equipment we need. Beyond that, red and white lands all the way through. Nothing particularly fancy here or unexpected from the deck itself. And that's it. That's my take on Cassandra. Is it the most efficient version of Cassandra that can be built? Probably not. Is it going to be one of the most fun equipment decks in red and white I've played for a while? Yes, it is. I'm really looking forward to playing this one on stream to show off its power. I have play tested it. It does work well, even though it is a little bit, sometimes a little bit clunky, but it does work out nicely in the end. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care. Hope you've hit the subscribe button. If you want me to see me play some of these decks, there's a link down below to Twitch. Come and give me a follow over there. Thank you to the people who followed the other week. I forgot to thank him on stream. So Dark Shadow 99123 and Omiskar, I think it is, all jumped in and followed me after watching one of the YouTube videos. So thank you for that. But for now, hopefully you've hit the subscribe button. Help me get a little closer to my 500 target. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.